Okay, hello everybody. Happy Thursday. Change of plans again. Well, when I get some good news, I want to come on and share it. A lot of important videos I want to get out, so I want to vote on it. Um, I got Nell and Holly, another one they got out. It's 45 minutes, so vote one for yes and two for no if everybody wants vote on it and see if to play it or not. Then I got a Nick Shirley video that's 51 minutes. So I was gonna play 1 hour on one of them now, and then maybe an hour one later. I want to see how many wants me to play the Mel video with Holly. Then the first hour I'll do the shorts, and then the second hour I'll do the video. If we get enough people to want to play it. We got nailed with some snow last night. I think Ann gave us the snow last night. Well, saying it's 17 degrees. It feels like -6 with the wind blowing. So, what do you think, Ann? Did you get a chance to look at those two videos? Okay. So I'm going ahead and get started on the short videos, and then I'll stop and see how many voted on playing that video with Mel and Holly. Another new one. This first one will be about 4 minutes. Oh, I never showed this, I don't think. This popped up. I'm going to share this. That's the list there. People that got arrested under the potato. Oh, my gas now here in Michigan is $3.14. Remember this lady here? What we did a while back.
Peace. This is today's message. I am here today to your messages to let you know that we are in the process of evaluating your current timeline shift. Reality consciousness is determined by your thoughts and intentions at
This
this
is good,
time.
right, Ed?
We are in alignment with all of your needs at this time for transversing realities into the new 5D frequencies. We are at a timeline shift currently in your reality with changing of energy fields around your planet now. We have come to align energy fields. You are all in alignment with the energy that is needed for the shifting of your consciousness to the higher vibrations. All is aligned as it should be in this moment of time. We gather here for receiving you all when it is time for the shifting of humanity to the 5D new earth. We align with those that are following these messages. We thank you all for your interest in your future reality. We wish to see many others join with this information as well. You all are so amazing to us that you have succeeded in your journey here on planet Earth. Frequency now, we attain our position here for you to see your journey fulfilled at this time. We want you to know that we are assisting many of you with your frequency upgrades in alignment with the shifting of energies upon your planet now. We regard you in such high status.
It was yesterday's
You are all amazing
on
beings
the
of light.
14th.
We channel with you on occasion to give knowledge about your future timeline reality. You align with this knowledge if you follow our information here. We are grateful to be a guide for you on your journey to you. We incorporate all of our insight for seeing this through for you. We regard you in such high standards, aligning now with the shifting of the energy upon your planet. You are all doing a great job. We are here to assist whenever you need us. Aligning now with the information from the Galactic Federation, who is in service to overseeing this 5D timeline shift for you all. We are here in service to all of humanity on planet Earth. Our arrival is planned perfectly for your shifting reality into your bright new future timeline. We align with you now. We see that you are already following the 5D frequencies that have arrived on your planet, and we see you shifting into a more positive state. We assist you now with moving forward into your new timeline, which will happen very soon in your human time frame. We wish you peace on your journey from now until when you arrive. Be in love. Be in light. Be in peace. Feast.
Okay, that's the latest one from her. Comes out once in a while. Next one is Trish. It's 5 minutes, I believe.
Somali cash leaving Minneapolis airport. And we're not talking about just hundreds of millions. We're talking about 700 million over the span of 2 years, which is 99% more than any other airport. Okay. So why is so much cash fleeing Minneapolis? And this is what they're declaring. Imagine what's not being declared. This is like cash going out in suitcases that they fill out the paperwork for. Wow. I mean, you've heard me talk about the Hawala network, right? And that person-to-person thing, and they're bringing money back and forth here, there, and everywhere. The TSA has flagged nearly $700 million in cash detected in passengers' luggage leaving the Minneapolis airport in the last 2 years. It is a massive cash exodus, and it is believed to be tied to Somali immigrants and their money couriers. Again, the Hawala network. Remember that. I've done a lot of terrorist financing investigations throughout the course of my career, not here in the US, primarily in Latin America, going back to Hezbollah and Hamas. But how do they do it? The Hawala network. And that's the money carriers. Okay. So this is being reported now to Homeland Security. They told Just the News this. The officials say the cash movements out of Minnesota's largest airport began about a decade ago, around the time the Democrat Governor Tim Walz took office, and have grown substantially, really substantially in the last several years. So pretty distressing and disturbing stuff, and concerning. They all were legally declared according to U.S. customs rules. That's kind of fascinating, right? Pretty damn fascinating. Even though that they were, declared according to U.S. custom rules, it's raising a lot of suspicion, because if that's what they're declaring, what are they not declaring? Again, knowing that you've got all these fraudsters there, right? I mean, there's a lot of suspicion. We're now talking about $9 billion that they believe may have been generated out of the state of Minnesota. You're talking about $600 billion nationwide. That was the number that the GAO has been reporting. And we're not getting really any answers. I mean, they just want to tell us that we're prejudiced every time this comes up, right? Which I'm not buying that anymore. Ilhan Omar.
Oh. That was a short one. Hey, Paul. When I was getting breaking news stuff, I got a couple big videos. I was going to see if everybody wanted me to play both of them, but one at a time. Play one now and play the other one tonight. I'm going to do 2 hours, so I'm going to try to break it up a little bit. Do the shorts for an hour, and then second hour. So how many wants to play Mel and Holly? It's a new one out. They got out for the first of the year one. It's about 50 minutes, I think. So just push one if everybody wants to play it. We got snowed in with a lot of snow today. I went out and it wasn't too bad.
Somalis or Somali supporters, sometimes hard to tell the difference, are attacking federal officers and then raiding their vehicles and stealing their weapons. This is, by definition, insurrectiony activity. You can see here in this absolutely viral video that they have pulled out the lockbox from a federal vehicle using a tow rope. You can watch this happen. This was an ICE vehicle here. It had a safe in it that had guns and rifles that were federal FBI guns and rifles. And the mob in Minneapolis, including Somalis and other left-wing activists, safe.
Did you hear what I just said?
And then they stole rifles from the safe. Look at this.
I want to break up a little bit. I went out in the bad weather today, and now it's cleared up. But there's a lot of important stuff to get out. Mel and Holly has a 50, new one. So I'll be playing that shortly, and then save the second one with Nick Shirley tonight. Unless you guys want me to play both now. I'll play both now if you want me to. But we're voting on it. One for a play.
As an individual, it's like a great dude. Really smart scholar here, who has now been caught looting the federal government's safe and vehicles and stealing a rifle that taking the patches here off of the federal vehicle. Now, are all these people from Minneapolis, Minnesota? I mean, what we have seen with this is that they often ship in the biggest degenerates and the biggest scumbags from all around the globe in order to attack federal government. But you can see that grown men are stealing federal firearms in this video and walking away with them. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got a real problem in Minneapolis. Real problem in Minneapolis. This is not going to end well. It's all on camera, which is crazy. Some of these people have their full faces on camera. And then also, there you go. You can see there, this guy has stolen. This guy is stealing with his face uncovered and a pretty visible tattoo, stealing a FBI rifle. President Trump has called for the Insurrection Act to be used against Minneapolis, wants to send the Marines in and the troops. Here we go. Donald Trump threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act, military force. The law of 1807 gives the president the legal right and authority to send in troops on American soil to quell civil disobedience. This is first invoked by Thomas Jefferson. Okay. The corrupt politicians of Minnesota don't obey the law and stop the professional agitators and insurrectionists from attacking patriots of ICE. They are only trying to do their jobs, institute the Insurrection Act, which many presidents have done before, quickly put an end to the tragedy that is taking place in the once great state. Things are going very poorly in Minneapolis. It's almost like the left wants to push America to civil war. It's plainly obvious. Minneapolis isn't a protest. It's an insurrection. Arrest Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar. Tim Walz and Mayor Frey are doing everything they can in their power to attack ICE, make sure that they are killed. They are both knee-deep in the Somali scam. We could swoop into a foreign country and kidnap their president in a span of 90 minutes without taking a single casualty, and yet we allow these fat, retarded losers to commit federal crimes every single day. This is Matt Walsh responding to the stolen rifle video. Oh, we could put a stop to all these. Work could be restored in 10 minutes. It has to happen. It's all by choice. It's all allowed. That's what makes it so infuriating. And that's, of course, correct. Please withdraw funding from as many things as in Minnesota as you can. I don't want my taxes paying for an insurrection. This is, again, the definition of an insurrection. This is worse than anything that happened on January 6th, right? Like on January 6th, nobody brought a single weapon. They wouldn't find a single weapon on any of the J6 protesters. The only people shot and killed, of course, were J6ers, Trump supporters. Nobody stole anything. Everybody was inside of the velvet ropes, you can recall at the time. Pics from northwest Minneapolis where the rioters destroyed federal vehicles and stole firearms, ammunition, sensitive documents inside, all captured on live streams. Holy smokes. Well, there you go. Here's your Somali rioters. Isn't it great? We brought them into our country. We brought them from their third world collapsed pirate nation into our country in order to do this to our federal officers. It's a great idea. So it was a great idea. Whoever thought from illiterate, inbreeding, child bride. I mean, I say this because I haven't backed entirely by data. Jump in the comments. Try it. Go grok it. Go search it. Go to any AI and ask about inbreeding coefficients in Minneapolis and in Somalia. What that does is it actually creates really horrible health outcomes and creates low IQ and people that don't function correctly. You don't want that kind of, you don't want child brides and Sharia law in your country. You don't want to import that. These are bad things that you don't want to bring here. We don't have a country because of it. We shouldn't be importing it into our nation. Otherwise, you're going to get this. In part, Democrats impeached Donald Trump for insurrection because he waited 2 hours to tell people to go home. We've seen a violent insurrection for a week against the feds in Minneapolis, and Tim Walz keeps telling people to keep going. Not another effing word about January 6th. That's exactly right. Invoke the Insurrection Act in Minneapolis. I think it's funny until they get caught and spend over 10 years in prison. That's exactly right. I mean, this is what you could do it right here. Here you go. There's your 10 years in prison. Time for Trump to invoke the Insurrection Act. Been saying it repeatedly. This could result in full-blown civil war. Insurrection Act should apply here. Everyone is saying. There you go. You can see FIs. These are federal vehicles. Doesn't get under control. Somali warlords, pirates, and fraudsters are going to bring Black Hawk down to Minneapolis. Stealing government weapons is an actual insurrection. Get the popcorn. He's going to do it. Stand with ICE. That's what the White House is saying. And yeah, here you go. Laptops destroyed, notes stolen, vests looted. I mean, listen, you just like, you just like have done way worse than anything that happened on January 6th here. This is a message on the only good agent is a dead one. Antifa left this message. The only good agent is a dead one. Remember, Antifa is just an idea. Look at this. Look what they did. Look what they're doing to your country. This is organized and well-funded insurrection. Isn't the federal government treating it as seriously as they treated January 6th? All of this, every bit of footage everyone needs near that cop car. We need names. This is not Somalia. This is Minnesota. Only good agent is a dead one, spray-painted on an ICE vehicle. Somalis and leftist rioters just broke into ICE cars and stole federal documents.
Got a hold of ICE's they said in a packet. That's what status quo is reading.
I'd like to say that maybe like they were smart enough to just leave these cars there as bait in order to get all these people. Because, everybody with a cell phone, everybody who's like there and a part of this can now be arrested. Right? There it is. This is your country on third world immigration. There you go. This is your country on third world migrants.
It's not over.
Extremely primitive here. Start kicking it. You have like professional agitators here. Okay, time to do it. I'm totally for it, and you should be too. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Insurrection Act now.
So what do you guys think? Is it time for the Insurrection Act? Like Benny said, we got our Terrence guy coming up 6 minutes, and then we'll play the one long video. See what time will be after that.
You might as well move on to the next video, okay? If you have, you might as well move on to the next video because this one is not for you. And also, you might not like my language, but I'm not holding back. So, with that being said, who in the world do these people think they are? To think that you can interfere with ICE agents? Who in the hell do you think you are to think it is okay to block an ICE agent, a police officer, any law enforcement officer, and to think that you can run them over and nothing will happen? And then to everybody who keeps saying she had kids, she had children. First of all, what kind of mother would put herself in danger knowing that she has children at home waiting on her? What kind of mother would try to run over an ICE agent knowing that she has kids at home and you know the consequences of trying to kill a police officer or an ICE agent? So to everybody that keeps saying that we need to be thinking about her being a mom and the kids, she didn't give a damn about being a mother. She didn't give a damn about her kids, because if she did, she would have been at home with those children instead of fighting for illegal immigrants. What kind of mother would be out fighting a bunch of illegal aliens? You got to be out of your monkey ass mind to put an illegal immigrant over your own damn children. You out there fighting ICE, and they're trying to do their job and get illegals off the streets. And you decided to put your whole life on the damn line. You wanted to die on that damn hill, knowing you had children at home. But I feel sorry for the children who just lost a mother. That has to be so tough. Her young children, those are innocent kids. They had, you know what? It is so sad that they have to grow up without a mother. But this lady did it to herself. And her girlfriend, wife, whoever she is, she is to blame too. I saw the video. She told her wife, drive. And then then right after that, she tried to run over an ICE agent and got her life taken away. Because you want to play stupid ass games. And you win stupid prizes. And the prize was a funeral. This did not have to happen because she did not have to try to run him over. She did not have to be out there. You have kids at home, children at home, and y'all out acting a damn fool. Acting a plumb damn fool. Agitating, talking crap to the police, to the agents, telling them to take off their masks, calling them boy. And then what did y'all expect? I never in my life, I never thought it was okay to interfere with a law enforcement officer. I never in my life thought it was okay to block an officer from doing his job. When I get a ticket, I take my ticket and I go. I don't sit there and talk shit to the police. Okay? I don't mess with the police. I don't put my life in. No.
2 minutes.
I don't do anything when I get pulled over. I do not interfere with the cop. If he is doing his job, if I don't like it, it ain't my damn business. I'm moving on. And it ain't got nothing to do with me. This is straight up common sense. She did this to her damn self. And I'm not celebrating the death of this woman. No. Don't get me wrong. I don't celebrate the death of. All I'm saying is she literally did this to herself. So don't come at us don't come at ICE talking about she was a mom. She should have thought about being a damn mom before she walked her bar-headed ass out that damn house. It is done with. The evidence is clear. It is clear. The ICE agent is justified. Okay? So that's the truth. It is what it is. You go point the finger at anybody, point it at the woman who tried to run him over. That's all I'm saying. So I don't know what to say, so I'm done talking. Okay? This is all common sense.
Okay, another good one.
Today I'm thrilled to announce my.
We played the first big one video. 49 minutes, you guys.
Almost the second week of January
Yes.
2026.
Yep. And we're still waiting.
Yay! And we're happily waiting, I can assure you, Holly. Yes, I did a fantastic sizzling Sunday actually on my show on Telegram, and it was just all fundamentals. It was just like one thing after another's happening this week, and it's very, very exciting. So
Well, we
it's
can
even
see
more
a buildup
exciting.
of pieces that need to be in the foundation of this, that are part of the structure for the new financial system. And slowly but surely, we see more and more pieces come together to build the new financial structure. So we're waiting on a couple other pieces, which I know you're going to get into. So I will turn it over to you, and you can update where we are since we last left off.
I know, it seems like yesterday, doesn't it?
Mhm.
So first of all, thank you for inviting me back, Holly. It was an amazing experience, a true honor to be here. So Holly, as you know, there's been so many currencies. There's a few things I'm going to go through today, but let's talk about these currencies. Now we're seeing all of these currencies floating, and what's really interesting is that we've got 5 new currencies that have just popped up on the so-called board in Australia. So I'm going to talk about those 5. They're actually Morocco, Cuba, Venezuela's, what was the other one? Cuba, Syrian, and of course the Hungarian peso. So very, very exciting, to be honest. But why are they floating all of a sudden? And we've often talked about how currencies are going to peg with other currencies to stabilise themselves in the new system. So we've got Morocco. They're going to be transitioning into the dirham, which is, of course, to be floated. So that currency is connected to Syrian pound, to a whole heap of other things, which is very interesting because even in Syria, the Syrian pound is going to be floating. Cuba is going to be floating. Venezuela's, of course, that's been in the news the last few weeks. And of course, Argentina, which we spoke about on our show the other day. So what happens when they are floating, and what does that mean to most people? But it's interesting because when we talk about floating a currency, we're talking about the supply and the demand of that foreign currency, and that's the trade deals, tourism, and a whole heap of other elements to that. So when they talk about floating, that's what they're talking about. The currencies are going to be floating in the Forex exchange against supply and demand. So, and of course, as I said, to do with their government trades and what have you. But normally what happens is, and what I'm extremely excited about, because I love fundamentals, I really do, Holly. So hopefully it doesn't bore too many people, because if it was a fixed rate, a fixed rate is fixed by the government itself. Whereas when the currencies are floating on the Forex, they actually fluctuate according to the market, as I said. So floating to what the market demands is, there's advantages and disadvantages, but the advantage to all of this is that it allows countries to create stability. And that's what we want to see, because that's part of one of our elements that we spoke about previously on your last show, that we needed stability in the currency, pardon me, and the Forex reforms. So what got me even more excited about not just these 5 new currencies appearing in our markets, especially in Australia, because you must understand, ladies and gentlemen, that are floating on other countries' exchanges. So to have these 5 pop up was very, very exciting. So what the problem comes now is that this now adjusts all of their monetary policies in their reforms in each country. So we're going to talk a little bit about Iraq today, because that's one of those big currencies that we actually invest in over the time. Now, remember the floating. So I've told you about floating currencies. Let's go to the Iraq budget. So they've just come out, and we often talk about their budgets, and we all go, yeah, okay, well, we've heard all that before. Why is this one different? They've just released the evidence to show us in the fundamental side of things that they are definitely ready. And we know that we've heard that before. So let's have a quick look. On January the 7th, they approved the 2026 budget in Iraq. Doesn't surprise us, as I said, but this is very, very important to understand. This program, this budget has completely changed. How's it changed? It's changed from their old traditional system, which was what they call a line in item program, which means that the government says that here are all of our income and these are all of our expenses, and they all have to line up, and there's your budget. It's generally how most of us operate in businesses. But this time round in 2026, they used a different method, which tells me they have a different system or accounting system. This accounting system is actually called a progressive program budget. That's what it is. I couldn't quite remember it. So this does, and this is where it gets even more exciting, is because this is where they actually allocate specific amounts in their budget to projects, ladies and gentlemen. And we've not seen that on their budget previously. Their previous budgets, ladies and gentlemen, were all done on this old transactional system. So on January the 7th, they announced that their 26 budget is done, and it's with this new programmable program budget on this new system. That tells me they flipped the switch just there, because they are now stabilised with a new budget program. This links to Pacific programs, as I said, and it makes them more measurable and transparent. That's what they're telling us. So what does that tell me? That they are on the quantum system, ladies and gentlemen. Boom, shakalaka, as Mel says. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is proof that there has been progress, because for so many years we kept hearing of them about, oh, the budget's done, the budget's done, the budget's done, da-da-da-da-da. Well, this year is completely different, and that should get your juices flowing. So each program and department. Sorry?
I just want to add to that is I just read that they paid off their debts to China. So that's another big piece of the pie for Iraq. So go ahead.
Yes. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because we didn't pre-do this show. I just said, I'm going to talk about this, and Holly's just stepped up the plate for me, because why else is that important? This new budget system, ladies and gentlemen, and I've often spoken about BRICS. Now, for those who are still new or just arriving on the scene regarding currencies and what have you, BRICS is a group of nations that created this new quantum system that we're just talking about. And BRICS, of course, stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Why is that important? Because I mentioned last week on my show regarding how the IMF and World Bank are now working alongside of BRICS, but it's actually the BRICS pay system. So when we talk about the World Trade Organization and the links with Iraq and how they've just paid off that debt that you're talking about, Holly, they did that in the new system. The new digital quantum system. I get so excited. So I actually had some notes today regarding the BRICS Development Bank, because the IMF and the World Bank. They also coordinate with the World Trade Organization. And we've seen many countries over the last week, that including Indonesia, Bulgaria, and several other African nations have been talking about their transition through the World Trade Organization. So what does this new development bank mean to all of you? Well, what it means is that it actually was established in 2014 in Brazil. It's now expanded over many, many countries. I think it's about 180 something countries now that have incorporated this new development bank. Now, this development bank is actually linked to the IMF and World Bank, another cha-ching, cha-ching. So what they're doing is they're now trading in their local currency. This is another one of those stabilities that measures that we need for the RV to actually happen. So I thought I would go into a little bit more depth with that one today, because we've often talked about this whole sovereign wealth fund. Now, with Iraq paying off China, that gives them more sovereignty, because that means their debts are paid. They no longer need the loans from IMF. That's why they have progressed through the World Trade Organization. And of course, these are sovereign guaranteed bonds. So, Holly, you would remember this one actually would be about what they called the green bonds that were released to their citizens in Iraq. Do you remember those coming out? The green bonds?
Can't say I do.
Okay. So about 6 months ago, well, it might not be that long, might be about 3 or 4 months ago, I happened to find an article that kind of slipped under the radar from Iraq, and it's talking about these citizens had the opportunity to purchase these bonds. And gentlemen, came through this new development bank, that being BRICS, for the citizens to earn interest in that on. And these are your new, what they call new governance bonds, called green bonds. And it's not part of the old, Green Deal thing, that climate change or anything like that. These, of course, are the green bonds for the citizens through the BRICS Development Bank. So there's a lot to take in there. But what it means and what it tells us all is that these loans have all been wiped, giving Iraq the sovereignty, especially after they have paid off, of course, their debts to China. And you would want to be doing that because, as I said, China is a part of BRICS, isn't it? So that is another formality that has, very much got me very, very excited. So yeah. But
those are big pieces, and I know the focus is on Iraq, along with all the other countries. But Iraq really is a linchpin to all of this. So that's why there is so much focus on Iraq, because they're rebuilding their government from the ground up. Where when Kuwait RV'd, they didn't have to do this, and this has been a monumental task to rebuild their government from the ground up.
36 minutes.
A luscious ribeye steak with a signature blend of herbs and spices.
Well, that's really interesting, Holly, because you must have been reading my notes, because I was actually seriously that exact same thing. So this is talking about the government and governance. And this is why this has taken so long. So let's talk a little bit more, and then we can, I've got some exciting other things to talk about with the actual RV side. But this program, or this budget system that we're talking about, of course, shows us that Iraq has signed off on all their old traditions and old governments, as we just said. They're also, you're finding a lot of countries have got their new elections and that as well. And that's exciting. That's a part of that JASARA program that we often talk about. This is this is optimizing, though, all of their finances to their resources, and that's why they can build these programs and projects that we're talking about. And they needed to do that, Holly, to be able to fund, to build this new quantum system, as you said. So it was not just about us receiving our transfer of wealth, but it's also got to do with, of course, building the resources, translating all of their transitioning, all of their ports, their banking system, so as we can reduce the amount of corruption in their countries. And it's not just about Iraq. There's been many countries that I've gone to that had the same issues. They had to stabilize their resources, and how they do that was through their budgets and, of course, as I said, complying to the IMF. But where does the governance and government come into play? By utilising these changes in their budgets, allowed them to transfer and make more accountability, less waste, less corruption using the blockchain, but it's stronger internally and financially internal in the side of the actual government. But how do they actually transition that to the people? Because the corruption's out there on the street in the black markets with their currencies. So the governance has to involve, of course, all departments within the government. And how do they do that? Through, of course, blockchain and being more responsible. So those new systems that you've been talking about have actually created a new society and mindset. And this is where the act of ruling comes in, and the quality of decision making that they have had to do to make sure that the rulers inside of the government don't just rule, if that makes sense. So we're going to, look at that and say, well, okay, what else does that mean? Well, the government is your structure. You always have to have a structure, but the governance itself is the entire system that operates the government, and that's where we're at right now. So it's more of a case of, like, this new system narrows that gap between the government taking control of the currencies, because we talked about the floats to begin with. So the government holds control of the float and the exchange rate, whereas now with the new governance system and the budget now being released in governance, this also reduces that parallel market or the black market. So this supply and demand now has changed slightly, and you're going to see some slight changes. But what this does then is sets discipline, as I said. It shows the people that their government is transparent, and this changes the government to do protocols, which they never had before. They never had protocols to utilise and make sure that they were being responsible and disciplined. This includes your education, your KYC system, your reporting your transactions through your banking. And we talked about that last week on my show, where they're still doing training inside the banks with this new system. So I think that's very, very important moving forward as to, them taking responsibility and rebuilding, restructuring. It is bigger than what people realise. Yeah. So we used to have these corrupt governments that just ruled, and now we have this thing called governance, whereas this is where that bridge comes into play of actually effectively transferring or transitioning into this new system, hence the new world and the great transfer of wealth. So,
yeah, it's getting exciting as you see more and more pieces come together, but it is a slow process of having.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger's same-day pickup and delivery.
But I think the more and more that we start to learn and understand, and I know sometimes it can seem a little boring, but those fundamentals, ladies and gentlemen, are adamant about how and why this is taking so long, and it has been a big process. But we now have governance in our system system, and that's very, very exciting. It really is exciting. So
you mentioned the blockchain, and I know a lot of people are waiting for this Clarity Act to come, and it was supposed to happen in December, and then we thought it was going to happen, I think, by the middle of January, and it just got pushed again. So that's a big piece of the. I think that's once that's passed, in my opinion, then I think we'll see a lot more stuff move quicker.
Moving quicker, yes. I mean, our banking systems have moved quicker. If we look back on a couple of years ago, when we used to do a tap and go situation, it instantly comes out now. And I think the systems, like I said, in the government sector have accommodated for that, but we just haven't seen it quite effectively on the Forex. And as you said, with the Forex now running on that blockchain, as I said, what's important there is that we understand that, yes, it's on a blockchain, and until such time as everything isn't converted all onto the same blockchain, because we have blockchains with different railway lines doing multi-purposes and different things, but until they all come onto that same, then yes, it's going to be these transitions where we're actually waiting and waiting. It seems like a long time, but the Clarity Act will allow all of those to come together, those regulations that we are. And we did mention that, again, as I said on my, the 4 or 5 things that we're waiting for. So yes, it is disappointing. It's been pushed out, but there could be for many reasons. It's not to say that the RV's been pushed out. I think the RV is already fluid in many cases with the governments utilising those resources. That is part of that revaluation, ladies and gentlemen. So it's not just about us. It's the revaluation, as I said, inside countries, inside their systems. That realignment of transition into the full-blown GCR. So get excited the fact that it is fluid and it is running and in that sense, because with the fundamentals that we just talked about before are important to say, yes, it is moving. We've spent many years, we saw nothing moving. We didn't have anything to talk about, and that's why none of us were podcasting like we do now. But now it's fluid, it's moving, and that's what we should be excited about. So, it is looking exceptional. So, yes, it is being pushed out to the end of the month, I believe. I was just told that just before I come on, but I'm still excited. We still.
Glad I came out of playing this. I thought it would be a good one to play. Dick Shirley coming on back. There you go, Chip. 89. Papa 2. Change of plan today. Two big videos I have to get out. $22 minutes, you guys. 22 minutes. Hey, Sandy. No, we got 22 minutes left of the video. I have two big videos on out. We did a little short videos. You might want to start from the beginning. I had Terrence and a few others. And then the second video I'm doing is another new video with Nick Shirley is 54. So those are the two big videos I'm going to play today. And then tonight we'll do the 10 and 20-minute videos and the short ones. I wasn't going to come on, but we had these two big videos I wanted to get out. We'll see. You made it on time for Nick coming up next. I told you I'll come on when there's breaking news. All the good news out. Sounds good. Okay, Lucy. Yeah. I think it's 16 minutes. There's no video? Can they take me down? Is the video still playing? I can't believe that. Oh, we were almost done. Carol. How much? So what should I do? Should I just go on and play Nick Shirley now? I'll play Nick Shirley. We're about 20 minutes. We're under about 20 minutes, so we got most of it. Ah.
Earn your Bachelor of Science in Nursing and become an RN all in one program. With no prerequisites required and monthly enrollment options, taking the next step is
I'm asking No. You don't ask me nothing, man. $2.25 million. Get out.
Are we the only community this yet?
How come they said this door is closed? Do you guys know where advanced mobility is? Advanced mobility? Yeah, we're looking for it. Never heard of it?
They know we're shining the light on the fraud, and they have no defense.
Would you like to see anybody in the government here held accountable?
Most definitely, because there can definitely be an allocation of funds.
The Minnesota fraud scandal continues to get worse and worse. Billions of dollars of fraud has been exposed, and as I showed the world the blatant fraud taking place at daycares and other locations across Minnesota, it became the most viewed video expose on the internet and created instant change within the government as the Fed sent thousands of federal agents to Minnesota, and the HHS froze over $185 million in all payments to childcare. And while politicians like Tim Walz call people like me white supremacists and far-right delusional conspiracy theorists for exposing the fraud, meanwhile, he actually dropped out of running for re-election. The Minnesota fraud scandal has erupted the nation as protests and riots took place, all starting because daycares like Quality Learning Center were exposed. However, the daycares is only a small portion of the fraud taking place in Minnesota. In this video, I will take you into what has continued to allow this fraud to happen and connect all of the dots for you, exposing all of the fraud from strange connections of the business owners and the politicians who have openly admitted to the fraud on live TV. And to dive deep into the fraud, I met back up with the local David, who has been investigating this widespread fraud scandal for years. So here in Minnesota, you have daycare fraud, you have adult daycare fraud, you have healthcare fraud, and you even have more fraud. What's some of the fraud that's also taking place here inside of Minnesota?
Well, what I think might be sort of the heart of the beast here is this transportation fraud.
Yeah,
And what I
good,
mean by
Laurie.
that
That's
is
good news.
in Minnesota,
Job of doing
we
that.
have something called non-emergency
This would
medical
be a
transportation,
long one. I'll be back at
NEMT.
6.
My
4
research has
minutes.
shown that there are about 1,020 such companies in Minnesota, and more than 90% of them are Somali owned.
And so right here on the table, what do we have? All this information right here.
So I have a number of companies that are local here in the Twin Cities, and this is just a fraction of the companies that are out there. What I found was that the national average for a non-emergency medical transportation company is 20 vehicles per company. A lot of these companies, their address is an apartment, some are in a house, some are in a convenience store, some of them in a vacant building. There's no signage, there's nobody there.
And so why would there be such a need for all these transportation companies here inside of Minnesota?
So if you think of this transportation as, so childcare is a spoke, adult daycare is a spoke, autism is a spoke, the interpreter services, which we could get into, that's another spoke. It all ties back to transportation. Why? Because those meals someone had to deliver those meals. Someone has to deliver the kid to autism, or say they did. So it all revolves around the transportation. And so when you're looking at this, you say, okay, well, let's just be conservative. Let's go on the low side. Let's say there are only 800 Somali-owned non-emergency medical transportation companies in Minnesota. Well, again, the average is 20 vehicles per company. So that's 800 times 20. And the way these NEMT companies are paid is if they bring someone to a doctor's appointment, whatever the case might be, or Costco or wherever they're going, because remember, it's non-emergency medical transportation. Well, we went to Costco because they have to eat or they'll die. So that's considered, right? So it's almost impossible to figure out from the outside what exactly the payments are for each of these trips. But I have a pretty good idea. So when someone provides a transportation to a facility or a location, they're also paid for the time to sit there and wait for the appointment to end and then drive the person back. So they're paid 3 different ways. And the average is going to be $50 per trip. So it's going to the appointment as a trip, coming back trip. So that's $100 per round trip. So if you have 800 companies in Minnesota that are NEMT companies, they all own 20 vehicles, and they're all making 10 trips a day, and it's $50 per trip. So it's 800 times 20 times 10 trips times $50 a trip. Do the math. And the reality is, how many of these trips are being provided? 0. They don't have to provide any. Why? Because when they are paid by the state of Minnesota, these companies go online and they fill out a form, and it just says, okay, how many trips, how many miles? They submit that electronically to the state, and boom, they get paid. Nobody bothers to check. They don't call the dentist. Did this kid show up? They don't do anything. As soon as that form is filed with the state of Minnesota, that payment goes out immediately.
And so essentially, these transportation companies are what hold all of the fraud together, because you have the daycare centers working with the transportation companies, the adult daycare centers working with the transportation companies, the healthcare companies working with the transportation companies. So it's just another way to bill and to also make it look like something's happening here inside of Minnesota.
This is the belly of the beast. All of this fraud revolves around these transportation companies. All of it. This touches every part of fraud here in Minnesota.
And today we're going to go confront these people. We confronted them last time. There was no kids in any of the childcare centers. And today, what do you expect to see?
I think we're going to see some vehicles because, when I drive around the cities here, I see these Somalis driving. Mostly it's like a Plymouth Caravan or whatever. And there's never, ever, ever been a passenger. And in 7 years, I've never seen a passenger in any of these vehicles. I've followed some of them. They're going to Costco. They're going to Sam's Club. They're going to Walmart. The driver gets out, goes in there, loads up a shopping cart, comes in, puts it in the van, and off they go back to where they live.
And now we're going to with these transportation companies.
And here's the other thing. Tim Walz and the Department of Human Service, you threw the people of Minnesota under the bus. Shame on you, and I'm coming for you.
You heard it here first, David.
Wow.
All right, let's go. So where's the first location we're going to?
The first location is a company called Safari Transportation, Cedar Avenue South in Minneapolis.
And so what makes Safari Transportation Company an interesting transportation company?
Well,
allegedly fraudulent.
Well, the thing about Safari is that they've been registered since 2015 with the state of Minnesota as operating vehicles. And again, the national average for a non-emergency medical transportation company is 20 vehicles. So if they've got 20 vehicles and they're at 607 Cedar Avenue, I have no idea where there's parking them because there is no parking anywhere near this office.
We've arrived to the transportation company. We're outside, and right there we have a Loving Arms Adult Daycare. All the windows are completely boarded out right there, and there's supposed to be a transportation company registered right here. It's 617, but it's a liquor store. Okay, so the location here is and also 617. These are two transportation companies. We're on a main road right now, and this is 607. And it is not a transportation company. It's actually a money transfer, but it's registered here, 607. This does not look like Safari Transportation. Where is the transportation company?
I don't see any signs denoting that there's any transportation. It's all just looks like money wiring. But if you look at the Secretary of State of Minnesota, Safari Transportation, 607 Cedar Avenue, and it's been registered here since 2015. That was the original filing.
So let's see if we have the manager. Let's see if we can find FOD. Hello. How are you? We're looking for the transportation company.
Safari Transportation?
Looking for Safari Transportation?
No, there's no Safari Transportation here.
No Safari Transportation?
Safari Transportation, 607 Cedar Avenue.
We're just looking for Safari Transportation.
We don't know.
So, but this is registered for Safari Transportation, 607.
Okay, we don't know.
We're asking where Safari Transportation is.
We don't know.
Okay, so the business is not here.
Don't record.
Fuad Omar?
Fuad Omar?
We don't know. This, do you see this? What is this?
Money transferring.
That's it.
Okay,
Well, this
registered.
is from the state.
This is fraud taking place. This is supposed to say, this is for Safari Transportation.
Go find out.
Yeah, we did find out. This is fraud right here.
Registered here
This is
since
registered.
2015.
2015?
Safari Transportation, state of Minnesota.
2015. Oh, yeah.
Well, Minnesota website today.
What do you guys think?
This is from today. I just printed this off today. Fuad A. Omar.
Go check it out.
We're here. This is 607. Where's Safari
607.
Transportation?
Okay, it's no Safari, period.
Okay, so it's a fraudulent business.
Did you see Safari anything here?
Exactly.
Did you see?
Exactly. It's
Did
not
you
here.
see it?
It's a fraud.
Did you see, sir?
Okay, thank you. We're going to go to the next address. All right, let's keep moving on. So 607, this is supposed to be Safari Transportation, no transportation company. And now we're going to 617, another transportation company. However, it is actually
State of Minnesota is registered to 617 Cedar Ave South.
and it's a liquor store. David, they aren't even trying to hide that these
Yeah.
are transportation companies. Where are the vans at?
Should we ask?
Let's go ask.
Hey, we're looking for Dreamline Transportation.
What's that?
Now we're in 617, Dreamline Transportation.
No.
Where is the transportation company?
No, we don't have this.
You ever heard of Safari Transportation?
Safari, I know Safari, that money wiring, 607.
The money wiring.
Yeah.
Okay, that's money wiring.
Yeah.
Safari
We're looking for
Transportation.
Safari
Maybe there.
Transportation.
607.
They said they never heard of it.
I never did. Safari company, the money wiring, they send money there. That's the 607.
So Safari gets the money and then they wire it out.
Yeah, the money.
That man just said that Safari is actually a money wiring company, so therefore they're receiving money and then wiring it somewhere underneath the name of a transportation
So they
company.
said to go here.
Suite A right here. And then you have 617A right here, but this is reliable.
So you guys, how can they get away with it this long? I can't believe it took them this long to get this.
Services, immigration, travel, and tax. I do not see a transportation company anywhere.
Morning. Find Dreamline Transportation. You ever heard of it?
I'm not heard of it.
Yep, Smith.
He said
That's
to ask
probably
you.
in every state.
So you would know.
Too.
This is a mailbox. It's not a road call.
So Dreamline Transportation could be nothing more than a mailbox. 834.
So it could be one of these mailboxes. Well,
okay, see you later.
607 Safari Transportation doesn't exist. It's actually a money wiring business. 617 Dreamline, inside of there, it's actually a liquor store. And then 617A is a place where there's a bunch of mailboxes and it says reliable ITT services. How are you doing, man?
I just want to ask you,
Yes, sir.
why are you sensationalizing the propaganda?
What are we
to-
sensationalizing?
To attack our community. What's your final objective?
We're
Are
not
you-
attacking your community by any means.
Are you making
We're
good money
looking
from this?
We're looking for fraud.
No, I'm
For
not.
instance, can you answer our question? Where's Safari Transportation Company 607?
1 second.
It's not there.
How
And why
much-
don't you answer?
How much money are
Why don't you
you?
answer the
how much
question?
money
Where's
are you
617 Dreamline Security?
How much money are you making?
I make money off of YouTube. That's how I make my money.
Exactly. So you're making money off of sensationalizing.
That my job
and attacking
is.
the Somali community.
I'm not attacking you guys. We're asking.
I'll tell you the
fraud
reason
is
why
fraud,
this is
sir.
happening. All right. Let me tell
David,
you the reason why you're
fraud is
attacking
fraud,
us.
correct?
Yes.
This has nothing to do with race. This is fraud. Is
This
fraud.
absolutely has to do with us being Muslim.
No, it does not.
All right, and us being from Africa. This is a constitutional argument. If you don't want us here, change the freedom of religion. Say, listen, you don't want Muslims in this country anymore.
We're not saying that.
No.
We're not
Because
saying
when,
that.
When I go
Sir,
onto
we're
your
talking
comments,
about fraud. You're talking.
when I go onto your comments,
My comments.
what
not
I see
me.
is people that say we do not want Muslims here, kick every single Muslim in Minnesota out of Minnesota.
That's a comment.
You are listen.
That's not what I'm saying.
You're preparing for the Somali community to maybe be taken to concentration camps, just like
How?
the Japanese community. All
How?
right, you're sensationalizing.
No, we're not.
All right,
Sir,
something that
answer
can
the
listen,
question. Where
that's something
where
that
is
can,
the transportation
something
vehicle
that can
company?
jeopardize
Answer the question.
the safety and the protection of
This
the
is
Somali
fraud.
community.
We're talking
if
about
anything
fraud, sir.
happens to the Somali
We're talking
community,
about
listen,
fraud.
I'm not doing anything.
I
I'm
know,
not physically
you're
touching
getting
you.
very close.
I'm not physically
You're
touching
very
you.
close.
No, I'm not physically touching you.
This is fraud.
What
We're
you're
talking about
doing,
fraud.
what you're doing,
You're
what
defending
doing,
fraud.
when
You're
I go
defending
into your
fraud.
comments,
You're defending fraud.
people who hate Muslims
Okay,
want
people
us
can-
out of here
people can say
for
what they
being
want. I'm not
Muslim,
censoring
are
anybody.
using your material. Islamophobes use your material. People who hate Islam use your material. Say to us, we don't want you here. Change the constitution. But guess what? Let me tell you something. Guess what?
Say it. We're asking about
You know,
fraud.
what
We're
you
asking
do,
about fraud.
you hate Muslims.
I'm not saying I hate
You
Muslims.
hate you
We're
know
talking
you
about
hate
fraud.
Muslims.
We're talking
Why
about
are you
fraud.
attacking us?
This
Are we
is
the
fraud.
only community
We're
that
talking-
suffers because of fraud?
We're talking about
Are we
fraud.
the only community that does fraud? Are we the only community that does this?
This is about fraud.
All right, there's what, 300?
I don't know. I can't believe they got away with it this long. And they say it's Trump's fault. Oh my God.
Somali
This is
providers
fraud.
out of Minnesota?
There's actually 800.
Don't touch me. Is there like-
Don't go
So,
Do you speak English?
transportation companies.
Your security doesn't even speak English. Listen,
Yeah,
let me tell you
so
something.
see, this is a nice issue,
Listen,
sir.
let me
This
tell you
is about
something.
fraud.
We have, what, 1,000 providers?
Yeah, you guys have a.
Even it's 2,000 providers.
Okay,
You
sir.
want to sacrifice the safety of
Sir.
80,000 people
We're not
because of fucking 2,000 providers?
That's enough.
Are you fucking mad? Are you stupid?
I'm not stupid. You're stupid.
You're
Where's the transportation company?
sensationalizing. What about if a mass
Listen.
shooting happens in Minnesota? It will be because of you. It will be because of you. If any Somali gets hurt in Minnesota, it's because of Nick fucking Shirley. If
This is-
any Somali,
this is about
if
fraud.
one single Somali gets hurt,
This is about fraud,
it's because
sir.
of you. Sensationalizes. You son of a bitch. Sensationalizes.
Wow, you're
Get the
very
fuck out of
nice.
our neighborhood.
Very nice.
Get the fuck out of our
Sir,
neighborhood.
can you tell me where the
I live
transportation
Get out of
company
our
is?
neighborhood. We don't want you here. Get the fuck out of here.
Calm down, sir.
Get the fuck out of here.
Sir, this is
You want
about
to
fraud.
sensationalize? You wanted clicks?
You're
You got clicks.
sensationalizing yourself,
You
sir.
wanted clicks?
You're
You got
sensationalizing yourself.
clicks. You wanted clicks? You wanted the YouTube?
Tell me where the
You
transportation
wanted
vehicle
YouTube
is.
clicks? You got YouTube clicks. Now get the fuck out of our community.
Tell me where the transportation. This is about fraud.
Motherfuckers here. Say it.
I'm
Say I
not-
want to change the Constitution.
No, I don't
and
want to
wanna
change the
freedom of
Constitution.
religion, and I don't want Muslim Somalis in Minnesota to kick them out. I was born in this country. You have to take the passport away from me.
Relax.
That is what you are
Sir,
arguing for.
we're not talking.
Change the Constitution.
This is about fraud.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Get the fuck out of our community.
This is about fraud.
Get the fuck out of our community. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Stupid fucking idiot.
Tell me what a transportation company is then.
Get the fuck out of here.
Obviously, for this video, we had to get security because look at this now. All right, we're going. We're going. But there is no transportation.
Wow, wow. I'm glad I played this.
Company in there, fraud. There were no transportation companies.
No, none.
This isn't about race. This isn't against religion. This is about fraud. We're fighting fraud here. We're not fighting a race.
Well, and this is what happens when you put a spotlight on fraud. The people who are benefiting become extremely violent. And the Somalis are the most violent people I have ever met in my whole life.
Because he couldn't answer the question. Where was the transportation company?
He wouldn't answer the question. All he did was make it about race and then issue threats.
Neither business was there or operating, and giving a very conservative estimate based off of David's numbers and other numbers online, it's fair to say each business is operating with an average of 20 vehicles and with a much lower and generous rate of $25 per trip. And with 10 alleged trips a day, each business is pulling an estimate of $1.3 million in gross revenue. And with those two locations alone, there's over $2.6 million in estimated fraud.
All right, we're going to the next location.
What's interesting, Nick, is that one of the places we just visited, the 617 Cedar Avenue South, that's for Dreamline Transportation. That's the address listed with the state of Minnesota. But the place that we're going right now is going to have vans that say Dreamline Transportation on them, but they haven't moved in months and months. You'll see they're covered with snow. There will be no tire tracks. And so why are they using this address? And all that was in there was a liquor store. And he told us to talk to the guy next door, and those were all just mailboxes. And then the guy next door said, go talk to him. I said, we just talked to him. Obviously, the cover up, and you see how they all stick together, and it's all this intimidation. And thank God we had the security we did there, because that would have been bad.
Now we're outside of this transportation vehicle company right here.
Yeah, and so you can see these are the vans that say Dreamline. You can see the sticker on the window and the numbers on the rear. None of these vehicles have moved in 8 months. I've been taking timestamp, date stamp photos. All these vehicles are in the exact same spot they were 8 months ago. And look, there's no tire tracks, so they haven't moved.
Roku's self-serve ads platform. It's easier than ever with Ads Manager. Sign up today.
Hit, stand, or double down. Every move feels bigger with Fanatics Blackjack. Every hand is a chance to stack your winnings and your
And this van as well, this is Dreamline. Dreamline was the location where we got chased out from the Somalis on 617 Cedar. And this is a vehicle from Dreamline that actually didn't even exist. It was a liquor store. And now it's here, and the vans haven't moved at all. Literally, no vans and no tire tracks anywhere. If these vans are being used to transport people, whether it be healthcare, childcare, there would be snow tracks. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 vehicles here. No snow tracks anywhere. These vehicles are not being used, and these transportation companies are making lots of money. Meanwhile, there's actually nothing to show for. Here's all of the vehicles right here. And the vehicles that are coming in and out, like this Toyota, it does not have anything to do with transportation company because there's no stickers on it and there's snow tracks. But the vehicles that are supposed to be used for transportation are literally locked in. Snow is building icicles. No one's even came out to remove the snow off the window. These transportation vehicles are not moving. And then right here, David has more paperwork for Silver Mountain. And there's 3 different companies in the same address.
Yeah.
So when we talk about how all these companies are intertwined,
This is a perfect example of that. And this is why these transportation companies are so essential to the fraud in Minnesota, because they allow the fraud to be supported, as the majority of the fraud is from welfare programs like daycares, autism centers, and adult daycares, and healthcare services. They need to leave a paper trail to make it look like something is happening. Therefore, they use these transportation companies to create that paper trail by saying they're moving people from an adult daycare to a healthcare provider, for example, but they actually never provide the service at the healthcare provider. But that paper trail allows them to continue to bill the state for the money, and everyone gets paid. That's why this fraud is so deep and hard to dismantle, because quite literally everyone is involved.
And it's all because the state of Minnesota never checks.
All right, so this is actually the location for Silver Mountain Inc., LLC, and Co. Let's see if any... Yes, we're wondering where Silver Mountain...
Silver Mountain?
Silver Mountain.
Oh, I don't know that. Where it is.
It says 2722 Park Avenue.
Where
Is
is
Silver Mountain here?
Silver Mountain. You don't have a permission to do that.
Okay,
You
so
were
Silver
ju-
Mountain does not exist.
You were.
No, the name.
I got one question to ask you guys. How come it's always foreign people at the places that they are going? That's interesting.
The name's not Silver Mountain. It's just Silver Mountain.
Don't ask me that. When you come.
All right,
So
sir.
Silver
Well,
Mountain-
so
It's
Silver,
another way-
so
that's
Silver
the
Mountain
way
does
to
not
make a
exist.
business. You're making a business.
Park
You have
Avenue.
millions of people watching you.
Silver
You're making
Mountain.
business to
Okay,
different
sir.
people.
You have millions of people watching right
Yes.
now. Where is Silver Mountain
I don't
Home
know where
Healthcare?
Silver Mountain is.
Okay, well, that's what we're
But-
looking for. All right, we're moving on.
sitting there-
So Silver Mountain does not exist. David, we're just simply asking for where is Silver Mountain Home
You can't
Healthcare?
find any of these companies. I mean, this is shocking. 3 companies are supposed to be in that building, and he's never heard of them. He doesn't know anything about them.
And look, so they don't exist there. Right there, Somali Senior Center and Adult Day Services, a daycare right there. All these welfare companies are in the same location, but their businesses, that business didn't even exist.
It's all fraud, all of it.
So right there is a transportation company, no passenger, just a driver. How come you think when it comes time to take accountability for what's happening, or just to answer simple questions about the fraud, they can't answer?
Well, I think their reaction tells you all you need to know. That the reaction is so violent that if there was no fraud going on, they would say, what are you talking about? They would have a civil conversation, but they can't, because they know we're shining the light on the fraud and they have no defense. So in their mind, being loud and using profanity is their only defense.
Because I'm trying to give them the opportunity to say, where are the transportation companies? Where are the daycare?
Yeah.
Where are the children? Where are the companies now? Yet they can't answer.
And to this point, Nick, the transportation companies we've been to, we haven't seen a single vehicle at any of them. In fact, some don't even exist. We can't even
25
find
minutes,
them.
guys.
Going to
25.
the
I'll
addresses
be
that are
back at
listed on the Secretary of State's website as their business address.
This is a massive parking lot here. We're gonna go ask them where their vehicles are. They should not have any excuse as to why they don't have their vehicles here, other than if they are out driving right now. And what's the story behind this business?
Well, this business is new as of March of 2024. It's Muhammad Malim is the registered agent for 713 Minnehaha Avenue East.
Me and David headed into this building. However, the owner was not there.
We're here at the suite of Epimonia Transport LLC. There's actually not even a sign here.
Save $28 or more when you join Planet Fitness for $1 down, $15 a month.
And anyone here, it looks like there's a guy over here. Let's see if we can talk to him really quick. Do you know about Epimonia Transport here?
So there was a transportation company here in 305 for a long time, even before I joined the building a few years ago. He's never really here. I've seen the office a couple times. There's barely anything in there but a couch. And then I see him maybe twice a month so.
And there's no transport vehicles outside. Massive parking lot, but no transport.
I've never seen one. I've been
Yep,
here for
you're right,
3 years
Roy.
and I'm always here. I'm a workaholic. I'm just nonstop here. So I know everybody in the building, and this specific space here is probably the most sketchy out of any other business here. Everyone else is here. They're friendlier. He just pops in and out.
For instance, this guy, Muhammad, he should have his business in 308. There should be transportation vehicles outside. There's nothing.
That's weird that you say 308 because he's always been in 305 for the last 3 years.
Wow, so he's even lying on his public records with the government.
I would assume if he was to make and doing fraud, it makes sense to switch it up and throw people off track. It would be the first thing somebody would do, I would think.
So since the fraud has started to be exposed, Muhammad has left the scene, and that guy just said, he confirmed that there was never even been transportation vehicles outside. So Muhammad has completely left the scene. He's nowhere to be found, and this parking lot, massive parking lot, actually never even had any transport vehicles, according to the guy who lived or had his office next to Muhammad. How quick do you think the fraud would dry out here in Minnesota if they were to cut out the transportation side of the fraud?
I think it would have a massive effect, and that the signal that would send would let people know the party's over.
Because if me and you were to go to the doctor, we either have to find a family member, drive ourselves, or pay for an Uber. How come they even have this set up?
Yeah, I tried to arrange a ride with one of these Somali transportation companies. They said they were all full. So now we're at 2833 13th Avenue South in Minneapolis. And there's supposed to be a non-emergency medical transportation company here called Advance Mobility Incorporated. And what's interesting about this company is that state records show that it first registered with the state of Minnesota in 1999.
And they have been in business for over 26 years.
Yes, correct.
And so we're going to go inside.
They must have a lot of vehicles.
So this is Advanced Mobility 2833, boarded up. All these windows are covered right here. We're going to see if we can go inside. There's a bunch of shops in here. We have money transferring shop. We got clothes in here. There's a coffee shop. Let's see if Advanced Mobility is in here. We got spices. Is Advanced Mobility here?
You know 224?
I don't think you guys are allowed to record it.
Do you know where Advanced Mobility is?
Suite 224.
She's recording over there, so. Suite 224. Do you guys know where Advanced Mobility is? Do you guys know where Advanced Mobility is? Yeah, we're looking for it. Never heard of it?
What is this?
Never
My name's
heard
Nick Shirley. We're just looking for Advanced Mobility.
Hey,
Where's Advanced Mobility at?
we don't care about advanced mobility.
That's what we're asking for. All right, we're looking for Advanced Mobility. Nobody can help us right now. We got a whole group of people trying to get us out of here. We're looking for Advanced Mobility.
We don't care about advanced mobility.
Advanced Mobility doesn't exist.
Get out of here, man. Get out. You need to get out. You need to get out. Get out.
Now they're pushing us out of here.
Get out.
Where's Advanced Mobility at?
We don't care about advanced mobility.
That's what we're asking for.
Get out. Get out.
Would you like to give a statement on where Advanced Mobility is?
Nope. Go ahead. Get out. We don't care.
So Advanced Mobility is not anywhere here. We're leaving, sir. Would you like to give a statement on what's happening here in Minnesota?
You make stuff up. This is a lie. I don't care. Who do you work for? Who do you work for? No, who do you work for?
Nick Shirley.
Who do you work
This
for?
is Nick Shirley, sir.
I don't care about Nick Shirley. That's you.
Yes, sir.
But who do you work for?
For Nick Shirley.
I don't care about Nick Shirley.
That's who he's working for today, Nick Shirley.
This is from the state of Minnesota.
So you guys say I can't film, but look at you guys filming. You can do that. You can film here. Advanced Mobility doesn't exist.
Well, so what was interesting was we walked in there, and on the state's website, it says it's in Suite 224, but it's a one-story building. None of this, it doesn't exist. And it's been registered since 1999, and it doesn't exist.
All right, next location. David, where are we at?
We're at what's called Ray's, R-A-Y-Z Transportation, LLC.
And this is Ray's Transportation. We're on a street. There's no parking lot for any transportation vehicles. We'll see what happens. This is the address for Ray's Transportation. Let's see if anybody is here. Is Ray's Transportation here, sir?
I don't know. transportation place. There's no transportation places here.
Oh, okay, well,
It's all
It's just
healthcare places.
RAYZ.
well, I think it's confirmed they're not here, David. So it's confirmed that Ray Transportation, all of these transportation companies, they're kind of like ghost companies. They exist on paper, but they don't actually exist in person. Would you like to see anybody in the government here held accountable?
Most definitely, because there can definitely be an allocation of funds.
And what's your message to Tim Walz?
Make a change, because there's definitely, even when it comes down to like the kids and stuff, there's definitely stuff that like we need spaces for the things that are going on that they're not doing. We need these type of spaces for it. This is some crazy stuff, but I'm glad that you bringing light to it. It is a crazy, interesting situation.
What you got going on, man?
Hey.
Keep the false narrative that you be going on. It's some nonsense.
You should get in your car.
You should not be doing that, right? You are creating misinformation. This is not fair. It's not fair for the American people to be doing that. It's not fair. It's not fair what you mean. You cannot be doing that. You're not being fair.
How?
This country is built on fairness. You're not being fair.
Yeah,
you cannot come into the community and be doing that.
So we shouldn't allow fraud to be happening, right?
Let the legal system do its job.
Well, it's failed.
We got a governor. We got an attorney general. Let them do the job. You're not in a position to do the job. You're not a prosecutor. If you want to run for office, go ahead, run for office. But you cannot be doing this. This is misinformation. This is information.
How is it misinformation, sir? It's from the
This is what you're doing.
state
You're coming
of Minnesota.
You're coming everywhere. Where you coming from?
You see what I mean? We're talking about the facts that's happening here.
It's south side. It's my turf. Get it.
Sir, so we were just having a civil conversation. The guy hopped out of his car in the middle of the road. About the fraud that's happening. And he's saying that I'm the bad guy for showing light of what's happening here.
They're passionate. They're passionate people. They don't want this type of stuff either going on or be brought to light. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to. It's a very tight knit community.
You saw it firsthand how crazy it gets out here. He hopped out in the middle of the intersection. So this isn't about race. You're a black guy. They're black, right? We don't have no ill feelings towards you by any means. We're talking about the fraud that's happening. So God bless you, sir, and thank you very much. Why are we doing this?
So we're doing this, A, because it's the right thing to do. The people of Minnesota and the people of America want this done. Fraud is fraud. And when we try and talk with these people and say, look, the main reason we're doing this is to find out why are all these checks being written by the state of Minnesota for companies that don't even exist? That's what we're trying to figure out. It's not a race issue. It's a fraud issue, and fraud is fraud.
And so what most people don't understand about this fraud is it is literally in the entire state of Minnesota. It's not just in one part of Minneapolis.
Right. And so I think what happens is the people in the suburbs of Minneapolis and St. Paul, they get lulled into a false sense of security because they say, oh, that's in Minneapolis. It doesn't affect us, or that's in St. Paul. And we're showing that this fraud spreads throughout the entire state of Minnesota, including all of the suburbs. And we're going to bring to light exactly what's going on in those respective suburbs.
And so what's happening in this suburb of St. Louis Park?
Well, this is one of the Somali NEMT, non-emergency medical transportation companies that's registered with the state of Minnesota in St. Louis Park. And so let's see if this one actually exists.
This is the location of Crescent Transportation. We have no vans outside right now. Does not look like any vans are outside. Let's go inside, see if Crescent Transportation exists. Here we are, and it's an apartment complex. There's no signage of any Crescent Transportation company. Once again, another fraudulent business where they don't even have a storefront to show where they're at. This is an apartment complex. So this is an apartment complex right here?
Yeah.
And have you ever seen Crescent Transportation out here?
Nope.
And what do you think about the fraud taking place here in Minnesota?
Huh? I'm a taxpayer. I don't like it.
What's your message to all the fraudsters?
Huh? Prosecute their ass. Take them to jail.
And how do you feel knowing that, for instance, right here, a transportation company that receives money from the government is not even here? It's an apartment complex.
I just said, I don't like it. I'm a taxpayer. I work hard for my money. people out here fraud, they should go to jail.
And should Tim Watts go to jail?
Oh, he crooked too, huh? All them crooked, all the politicians. My daddy ain't never liked none of them.
So that man right there just confirmed that this is an apartment complex.
Right. And so the cities have specific rules governing operating businesses out of apartments. They do not allow transportation companies to park vehicles in an apartment parking lot. None of the cities in the Twin Cities allow that.
Because even if you were to be running a transportation company out of your apartment, there's nowhere to park the cars.
Well, where are they? There aren't any. Crescent, I don't see anything with Crescent on it anywhere.
More fraud taking place here.
So this is called Hopkins Child Care Center. This facility is licensed to hold 118 children. So this should be a really big facility. And this year alone, they have received $2.25 million from the state of Minnesota. And last year, they received $1.92 million from the state of Minnesota. And this facility in the past 5 years has been in the top 10 for the most money received from the state of Minnesota.
So there should be plenty of children. There should be footprints of children walking in and out.
This should be a very busy place, yes.
So this right here is Hopkins Child Care Center. They're receiving over $2 million a year. All of the windows are completely blacked out. You can't even get in. And for a place that's supposed to have over 100 children, there's no footprints anywhere going into the store. And it's locked, midday right now. This is the back side of the daycare. We're ringing the doorbell right now. See if anybody comes. Hello, sir. How are you doing? How are you doing? Yes, sir.
Get out.
Okay, listen.
Get out. This is our business.
Okay?
What are you looking for?
We don't care what you do on the
We're-
parking lot.
Go this side.
This
This
is
private.
I can be here in the
No,
parking lot.
no. You don't be here.
Wait,
What are
can
you
we
looking
ask
for?
you about the daycare? It's
What
all
are
right.
you looking
It's all
for?
right. Can we ask you about the daycare?
No. I don't care, Ken.
Sir, I'm not racist.
You have to live here.
I'm asking
No. You don't ask me nothing. man.
$2.25 million.
Get out, you guys. Get out.
$2.5 million.
Get out.
This is a business.
Get out. Hey, get out. What are you looking for?
We're asking. We just want to
Get out.
We just want to ask you about $2.25 million.
Get out.
You say
Get out
of here, man.
Get out, guys. Get out.
You cannot do that.
Get out. No, you cannot. You cannot do that.
Where?
Get out.
This is.
Get out, man. No. Get out.
Another 20
Get out.
minutes,
No,
guys.
Sir.
You have to get out. This is our law forever. Get out.
Why?
Get out.
Can I ask you about the daycare? I have the paperwork right here.
No, get out.
What's the need
Get
for
out.
$2.25 million for a
I'm telling
daycare?
you, get out. Get
Can
out.
you answer the question?
Get out. No, I don't ask you any question. You guys,
can't.
get out.
You can't answer the
Get
question.
out. No. What are you? Who are you?
My name's Nick
Who are you?
Shirley.
No, I don't give a shit. Get out.
Could you
Get out.
could you answer the question?
No, I don't.
What's
ask
the
you any
need for
question.
$2.25 million
No,
for a
you don't ask you any
daycare?
question. No. $1 million.
I don't-
Don't worry about it. Get out.
Okay.
Get out.
And it's licensed for
Get out, my friend.
118
Get out.
children,
Get out.
but I don't see any footprints of any children here. I don't see any footprints of any children
Get
here.
out. Get out. Guys, get out. No,
One-
you're not asking nothing, man.
I'm
Get
just
out.
asking you about what we're seeing here.
No, get out.
Do you-
Get out our business.
do you-
Get out.
sir,
This is my property.
You have millions
Get
of people
out.
watching right now. Can you say what's the need for $2.25 million? And where are the 118 children?
Get out.
Sir, I'm just
Get
asking a
out.
simple question.
Get out. No, you don't ask me any question. Get out.
You have the opportunity
Get
to
out.
answer
No,
the
no,
question.
no. You can't.
Nobody speaking any English at this one, you guys. Oh my God.
You can't ask me nothing. Get out. Get out our business, man. Get out. Get out, motherfucker. Get out.
Sir,
Get out.
just answer the question.
No.
Just answer
Get
the
out.
question.
No, get out. Leave.
Sir, just answer the simple question.
Hey, don't touch me. Don't touch me.
You're YouTube, man. Get out.
All right, code word has been given. We're out.
Get out.
All right, we got to get out of here.
Get out.
Sir, just answer the question. Where are the children? No footprints of any children around here. No footprints of any children. They can't even answer the question. We gave them so many opportunities. We gave them plenty of opportunities. Just answer some simple questions. Millions of people are watching right now.
They came out with guns blazing. All we want to know is where are the children? 118 children, no footprints in the snow. All of their vehicles were sitting there with 2 feet of snow on them. They haven't moved in months.
The windows are all blacked out.
Yeah.
God,
It's the same thing at all these daycares. 4 men came out, yet they couldn't answer the simple question. We had it right here.
118 children. $2.25 million this year.
Welcome to Minnesota.
Now this daycare center, how much money has this one received?
So this this child care center is called Proud Child Care Center, and it's in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, which is a very high income area. It's a further out suburb from Minneapolis, but there are a lot of multi-billion-dollar homes right in this neighborhood. And this child care got $1.25 million in funding in fiscal year 2025. It got $1.08 million last year. It opened in 2021. Let's go see if we can find any kids.
There should be at least 40 children here. Looking at the snow prints, does not look like there's any snow prints of any young children. And all of these windows are completely blacked out. Let's see if we could just talk to somebody. Could I enroll my son Joey into daycare here? Well, do you have a paperwork where I can enroll a child? Oh, my name's Nick Shirley. I was wondering if I could enroll a child. I have a son named Joey.
Who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley.
Where you go from?
Yeah, I'm just coming out and seeing if I could enroll my child, Joey. We just want to get a statement as to why this daycare needs $1.26 million, and if it's even possible to enroll somebody like my child, my imaginary child, Joey. No, you guys can't give a clear statement, or could you even give me a paper to enroll a child into the daycare? Just to show that you guys are a legit business. It would debunk all claims if you could just give me a piece of paper saying where to enroll a child. You can't do that. Okay, well, thank you very much. And I hope this place actually is holding 47 children, because you guys are receiving $1.26 million in this year alone. So have a great rest of your day. They won't even give us a paper to enroll a child. Could have debunked all their claims. They can't even do it.
One of the big talks about the fraud is about Quality Leering Center. It's a daycare that has received $1.9 million. It's licensed for over 99 children. Instead of quality learning, it says quality leering outside. But the big controversy about the Quality Leering Center is that Somalians, after the video went live, they all of a sudden started shuffling children into the daycare. But at the same time, the commissioner of children of Minnesota was on a live stream saying they had closed the daycare a week ago.
Quality Learning Center closed just over a week ago.
How much money has this place all received? And what's...
This is the one that's licensed for 99 children. This fiscal year, they've received $1.9 million. And in fiscal year 2024, they had received about $2.2 million. So about $4 million in the last 2 fiscal years.
We're up in the Quality Leering Center, 1-800-FRAUD, as now it had been confirmed that this place was closed down, and now they're shuffling children into the daycare.
So Tiki Brown said this facility was closed.
Oh, she said a week ago.
And now magically it's full of cars. So how can it be closed if people are coming and going?
Fraud. Why do you have everybody?
Yeah. Okay, this is the owner right here.
They can record. We can get off property.
So you guys can record. So how come they said this building was closed? We're trying to speak to the owner. They won't even answer a simple question.
Well, there's another one that there's no American people working there.
Hey,
look, now he's going inside.
Hey, sir, don't run, though. It looks suspicious when you run, brother. And you can smile, but bro.
Sir, I'm right here.
He's right here to speak to you.
I'm right here.
Don't do that. Oh,
you can't defend the fraud.
Oh, come on. At the daycare, not at the daycare doing the middle finger, though.
We have like 100 cameras on it.
Now, both of these people have interesting ties with politicians inside of Minnesota. For instance, the man who's running the daycare, he was celebrating with Mayor Fry after he won re-election of mayor inside of Minneapolis. And then this lady right here seems to be a friend of Ilhan Omar, as she has photos with her outside of the restaurant. And she also has videos of her giving a tour to a separate daycare to Mayor Fry. It really makes you wonder why these politicians haven't fought against the fraud, knowing that it's happening in locations like Quality Leering Center. Meanwhile, they're taking photos and celebrating with them at events. What's your message, people, about the fraud here in Minnesota?
This is part of the cover-up. They're trying to cover their tracks. So let me say this on camera. If you can prove that any of the information that I have here is false, I'll give you $100,000 cash.
Okay.
If any of it's false or inaccurate in any way, anybody want to take me up? And if you can't prove it, you have to give me $100.
So you saying all that's real?
100%. I'll give you $100,000 if you can disprove my information.
See, they all went silent. Silent.
Anybody? Your $100 versus my $100,000 cash.
They're all silent. What do you think about the fraud here?
Hey, the fraud here in Minnesota, I ain't gonna lie, it's crazy. Like, what do you mean specifically? What do you mean?
Yeah, how do you feel about this daycare, for instance, receiving $1.9 million? And they couldn't even spell learning right. They spelled leering.
Hey, man, Somalis, they're an interesting creature. I'm not gonna lie, I can't say too much. I'm already too hot, but...
Switch to TurboTax. File free in the app.
I mean, Tim Waltz, you gotta solve this stuff. Minnesota really cracked down on this because they've been doing this for years. So
should Tim Waltz be prosecuted?
Hell yeah.
And at this point, you're probably wondering where all the millions and billions of dollars has gone. Well, it's been well tracked that a lot of the money, millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, has been funneled through TSA at the airport inside of Minnesota. It's been well tracked and documented. Even in 2017, there was reports coming from the local Fox News station, and I was actually able to meet up with a whistleblower who used to work as an agent at TSA on the side of narcotics, and he saw millions of dollars go through TSA. And what kind of fraud did you see take place here in Minnesota?
So I worked for the airport police for 31 years. 24 of those years I worked in narcotics at MSP Airport. And my recollection was from about 2015-16 to 2021 when I retired. I would get emails from our dispatch saying like 2 male Somali descent individuals. They would give us their names. They claimed the cash, that they had a large amount of cash at the checkpoints. We'd get all this information in an email, and I believe they would send it right away. So TSA would contact our dispatch telling us this. Then our dispatch would relay the info via email to us.
And how much was the money?
The money, the smallest amount in a suitcase that I heard was like $750,000. But generally, it was anywhere from $1 million to $6 million in a suitcase. And there usually was, as far as I can remember, there was always 2 individuals traveling. So you would have maybe one guy with 2.2 million and another guy with 3 million. And
at airports, you're able to take $10,000 without declaring it. How are these guys able to take millions of dollars?
Because as far as I know, as long as they declared it, they were fine. So then TSA would contact HSI and Customs, and I'm sure they got the information. We got the information. My administration knew about it, and I trust that they sent that on to higher state officials on this, but nothing was ever done the whole time I was there. I talked to one individual. We were going after narcotic cash leaving the airport. This was always fraud. We had no nexus to that this cash was related to narcotics. So our hands were kind of tied. We couldn't do a whole lot.
How do you suspect these Somalians had millions of dollars to move in an airport?
We would rack our heads all the time, like, where are they getting this? Where in the world are they getting this money? And I had heard about these daycares and whatnot, but I mean, I thought at the time, but apparently they have a lot more than that. We were all just racking our heads trying to figure this out.
So you openly saw just millions of dollars get moved through these airports.
I saw one time, I saw an open suitcase with the cash because we were looking into seeing if it was narcotics related, which it was not.
How much money do you think move through the airport in your time?
Millions, literally millions and millions. I mean, we're talking for a good 5-6 years, you're talking, I don't know, 5 to 6 million a week. It would happen twice a week. You would get twice a week where there would be somebody flying, 2 people flying out with $1 to $2 to $3 to $4 or $5 million twice a week, every week, without fail.
And where were those people traveling to?
So this is the word I got, that they would fly to Atlanta, take a flight from Atlanta to Dubai. And then apparently what I had heard was it was too dangerous to go any further with it. So they'd wire the money to Somalia. Whether they scraped a whole bunch off the top and did that, I don't know.
Wow. So they take the money from Minnesota, take it to Atlanta, and then take it to Dubai. And then from Dubai, they then wire the money.
Correct. Sure, but that's what I was told by other investigators.
So all the taxpayers' dollars were getting funneled through the airports and then taken to Dubai to be sent to Somalia.
Yes. Yes. It appears that's how it all went down. Yes.
Is your team spending more time?
Wow. I'm glad Nick has bodyguards. Because if he didn't have bodyguards, oh man. I cannot believe no one spoke English on each one of those spots. So what do you guys think of those 2 videos today? Make sure you guys sub to the backup channels just to be on the safe side. I don't know how many you're making sure to go to my description box. So I will be back out at 6 o'clock. Tim was the only one for mod this end. Lucy was working. Well, a lot of people were working. So have a good break here and see you here in about 2 hours with more good stuff. Billy Bean has one out. So see you in a few. God bless. Remember, please hit like and sub to the backup channels. And stay safe, stay strong, keep the faith, and never give up. And prayers out to Karen. Our Aunt Karen is not feeling good this week, and I'm going to try and reach her. So hopefully she'll get in here shortly. Signing off for now. See you in a few. Chico dude.